Hello, welcome back. And right now we're gonna talk about flex basis. So what does flex basis do? Flex basis mean it pretty much same as min width, but it is more flexible and more powerful than min width property. So let's add a flex basis to our flex item. So as you can see, we have given all the item a flex grow property 1, and we have removed the flex shrink property from every item. Let's add the flex basis property. So as I said, that flex basis is pretty much same as min width property. So let's say flex and flex basis. Let's say we want our flex item, this flex one item, a 300 pixel width. So we'll say 300 pixel and save the file. And if I refresh the page, you can see the changes. You can see that it gives the initial width to the flex item 1. What does the flex basis do? It will give the initial width to the element. If I increase the size of the screen of the browser, you will see that it is growing normally because we have given the flex grow property 1. And if I reduce the size, it will try to remain in the larger size because we have given the 300 pixel. It will try to not shrink because it is given the value of flex basis. So let's add every item a flex basis property of 300 pixels. So let's say flex item 2 has a flex basis property of value in 300 pixel, and flex item 3 as well have a 300 pixel flex basis property. And if I refresh the page, now every item has an initial width of 300 pixel. If I increase the size, and if I see in the developer tool, you can see it has given the 313 pixel width. It is giving this because we have put here 300 initial width for the elements. And if I reduce the size, it will try to remain as according to this value. And with the help of another property, we can make this layout mobile responsive. What do I mean by that? Let's say our mobile screen is 300 pixels. So we'll say flex base is 300 pixel, and for the flex container we will add a new property which is flex wrap. And this flex wrap property, what it does, it will wrap the item inside the flex container if it reaches the size of 300 pixels. So let's say flex wrap. So the default value for the flex wrap is no wrap. So if we want to use a flex wrap property, we say flex wrap. If we want to wrap the item inside the flex container, we say flex wrap. And let's save the file and refresh the page. As you can see, it changes its layout. Why? Because the reach point of the last element is lesser than 300 pixels. So that is why it is wrap itself to the bottom and get all the space from the flex grow 1. And if I reduce more, you will see all the items inside the flex container has moved in a cross axis position. As I increase the size of the screen of a browser, you will see that it will arranging itself as they were before. So as I increase more, you will see that it is acting normal. And if I reduce the size of the browser, you will notice that when it reaches the 300 pixel flex basis for this element, and when it's tried to shrink more than 300 pixel, it will stretch out and take all the space and remain size of 300 initial width. So if I reduce more than 300 pixel, you will notice that it will shrink itself into the bottom. And if I reduce these element, like it has now 400 pixel, if I reduce more, let's say it has 358 pixel right now, let's reduce more. When you see it reaches the 300 pixel, then it will step down and take all the width because we have given the flex grow 1. And let's say we have set flex grow 1 to 0, and let's save the file and refresh the page. So that is what it does. It will not take all the width because we have set the flex grow property to 0, and we have said all the flex item will have a property of flex grow 0, and we don't want to grow the element inside the flex container. So when it reaches the panel state, it will stack down to the bottom. So as I increase the size of the browser, you will notice that the items will taking back its position, and when I decrease the size, you will notice that it will align in a cross axis. Why? Because we have put here flex wrap property. It's wrapping the element inside the flex container. So initial flex basis property is set to 300 pixel. So whenever it reaches 300 pixel, it will act like this. It will stack themselves in a cross axis position. So let's say our mobile screen has a 300 pixel width. So if we add a flex grow 1 to all our flex items, it will grow all the items inside the width of 300 pixels like this. So it is very useful to use flex grow and flex shrink and flex basis to achieve this layout. And don't forget the property of flex wrap, because it has helped the element to wrap inside the flex container. So we can use a shorthand property for flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis. So we don't need to use this flex basis property and the flex grow property. We can use a simple shorthand property to achieve this layout, and we can add all the three properties inside a flex shorthand property. So let's remove this flex basis from here and from here and from here, and flex grow as well. So as you can see, we have selected the flex container. Inside the flex container, we have selected all the flex items. So let's say all the flex item has a flex property, and the first value for the flex property is used for flex grow, and we say all the item grow equally, and the second value is used for flex shrink. We say flex shrink is equal to 1, and the third value is used for flex basis, and we want our flex basis value is set to 300 pixel. So that is how we write three property inside this shorthand property. So we save the file, and when we refresh the page, it will act as same as it did before. If I increase the size, it will act as same. So that is how we write the shorthand property, and that is how we can minimize our media queries and start to implement flex properties to achieve these layout, which can automatically adjust it itself to the size of the screen. That's it for now, and see you in the next lecture.